Jaxson Dart and the New York Giants pick up a win in his first career start as they beat the formerly undefeated Los Angeles Chargers 21-18. Justin Herbert, very underwhelming day. Joe Alt goes down, so now they're down both starting tackles in that game. Obviously, Rashawn Slater tearing his ACL in training camp. And with that being said, this video is not about the Chargers. It's about Jaxson Dart, even though I will talk about the Chargers a little bit. 13-20, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks, sacked 5 times. Jaxson Dart also had 10 carries for 54 yards and a touchdown. The Giants finally have some juice. For the first time in the Brian Daboll era, for the first time in forever, the New York Giants and their fans actually have something to look forward to on Sundays. Now, I am not saying that Jaxson Dart is like a certified, going to be a great player. He could be a bust. It's one game. But you could feel the excitement. You could feel it in that stadium on Sunday. Every time he dropped back to pass, every time he took off to run, it was something we hadn't seen in New York in forever. Like even going back to the last quarterback that they drafted, Daniel Jones, even going back to his rookie year when he throws 24 touchdowns and 12 interceptions and Joe Judge is the head coach. I'm sure there was some excitement, but it didn't feel like it felt yesterday in that game. Maybe it's because they won. I don't know. But Jaxson Dart clearly has something special about him. And it's interesting because I don't think it's like an arm talent thing, like he's not throwing the football like Josh Allen. I think he's accurate, but not at like an elite Drew Brees kind of level. He's athletic, right? He can run and move around, but he's clearly not Lamar Jackson. He's just tough. And he just brings a little something extra. Like he's the kind of guy that I think people would want to be teammates with. Just because he just brings something a little extra. So like I said, not like an overwhelmingly great performance. I think it's pretty clear that Brian Daboll doesn't trust him, and that's not an indictment on Jaxson Dart. It's his first career start. Brian Daboll shouldn't trust him. If he did, then Jaxson Dart would have been the week 1 starter. Like that's just the reality of it. On a lot of third downs, it was like really safe completions, a little bootleg, hit a guy in the flat, or they just ran the football, which is an extra element to their offense. Russell Wilson just not the athlete that he once was, and is definitely a lesser athlete compared to Jaxson Dart. So, we saw it on the few snaps that Russell Wilson got. So, he just brings something a little extra, and like they're going to be able to win games with him if it looks like it did yesterday. Rely on this really good front seven, who pick off Justin Herbert not once but twice. Dexter Lawrence, a.k.a. Sexy Dexy, a big man interception, almost returned it for a touchdown as well. Like, rely on that front seven that generated pressure what seemed like the entire game. Abdul Carter, fantastic pick at pick number 3. So, rely on the defense, run the football. They ran the football 42 times for 161 yards. Cam Scatterbo didn't have, like, a great game, but that dude's tough. Like people in New York are going to absolutely love that dude. Wherever he went, people were going to love him because he's just a big physical football player who just never goes down on the first hit. It's just incredible to watch. So, run the football, Jaxson Dart. Don't make any bad decisions, because that to me was ultimately the difference. Justin Herbert turned it over twice, and Jaxson Dart didn't turn it over at all. Like that was the reality of it. So once again, just very impressed by Jaxson Dart. Let's go back to the Chargers now. Justin Herbert didn't have a great day. Joe Alt ends up getting hurt. He misses most of the game. The disappointing thing with the Chargers was the fact that they didn't run the football more. Like, you draft Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina in the first round with the 22nd overall pick. And he's going to be your main back for the rest of the year because Najee Harris sadly tore his Achilles. That dude averaged over 10 yards a carry. You've got to hand the football off more. Like, I get it, Justin Herbert has had an amazing start to the season, but both of your starting tackles are out. Line it up. run the football and make things easier on Justin Herbert, because things are going to continue to be incredibly difficult as long as Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater are both out. Obviously, Slater out for the year. No idea how long Joe Alt is out for. So they've got to find a way to win with backup offensive linemen. Welcome to the NFL. This is where you figure out which quarterbacks really elevate and which ones are just talented. All right? But it would greatly help Justin Herbert out, Jim Harbaugh, if you would just, do the thing that Jim Harbaugh does, and that's run the football, especially with Omari and Hampton, who finally had a good game, or finally had a great game, finally looked like a first-round pick. That's a better way to say that. He finally looked like a first-round pick, and he only got 12 carries. Insane, and it's not like they're playing against a bad Giants front seven. Like that Giants front seven, you can put it up against any other one in the NFL. That's how good it is between that front four and those linebackers. So, going to be interesting to see how the Chargers navigate that. But New York Giant fans, you have to be pumped, because for the first time in forever, you finally have some hope. You finally have some juice at the quarterback position.